Muslim population is one of the fastest growing religious groups in the world. As of 2024, there are approximately 2 billion Muslims globally, accounting for about 25% of the world's population. Islam is the second largest religion after Christianity, and its followers are spread across nearly every continent. The global Muslim population is expected to reach 2.8 billion by 2050, making up nearly 30% of the world's population. This growth will continue to shape the cultural, economic, and political landscapes of many regions around the globe. But in some countries, Islam faces significant restrictions. These restrictions can range from limitations on religious practices to outright bans on Islamic symbols and traditions. In today's video, we're exploring top 10 countries where Muslims are not allowed in 2024. Number 10. Slovakia. Slovakia is a predominantly Christian country, has population of about 5.4 million people, with over 80% of the population identifying as Roman Catholic. The Muslim population is very small, estimated at around 5,000 people, or less than 0.1% of the total population. There are no official mosques in the country, which contributes to the perception that Islam is not welcomed. In 2016, Slovakia's government made headlines when it passed a law effectively making it more difficult for Islam, or any religion with fewer than 50,000 adherents, to be officially recognized by the state. This law was seen as a move to prevent the establishment of mosques and the official practice of Islam. Former Prime Minister Robert Fico also made a controversial statement, saying that Islam has no place in Slovakia. There is a complete ban on Muslims entering or remaining in Slovakia. Public sentiment in Slovakia has largely supported these policies. A combination of fear of terrorism, cultural preservation, and economic concerns has fueled a significant portion of the Slovak population's resistance to Muslim immigration. Many Slovaks believe that allowing Muslim migrants into the country could lead to social unrest and a dilution of their national identity. Number 9. Bhutan. Bhutan, a small Himalayan kingdom known for its focus on gross national happiness, is a unique country with a rich cultural heritage. With a population of around 800,000 people, it's a predominantly Buddhist nation, with the majority of the population practicing Tibetan Buddhism. Bhutan has an estimated Muslim population of 5,000–7,000, which is considered a minor religion in the country. One of the most notable aspects of Bhutan's stance on Islam is the country's strict policy against the establishment of Islamic religious practices and institutions. For instance, Bhutan does not have any mosques, and public displays of Islamic practices such as the call to prayer or Islamic attire are generally not permitted, including the restricted presence of Islam. For the small Muslim community in Bhutan, these restrictions can lead to difficulties in practicing their faith. Many Muslims in Bhutan may need to practice their religion discreetly and may face challenges in finding halal food, religious materials, or spaces for prayer. Number 8. Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, an island nation in South Asia, is renowned for its stunning landscapes, rich culture, and diverse population. With an area of about 65,000 square kilometers, Sri Lanka is home to approximately 22 million people. The country is a melting pot of ethnicities and religions, with Sinhalese Buddhists constituting the majority, followed by Tamils, Moors, and other minority groups. According to recent estimates, the Muslim population in Sri Lanka constitutes around 9.7% of the total population, which around to 1.9 million people. In recent years, Muslims in Sri Lanka have faced several restrictions and challenges. For example, there have been instances of violence and discrimination against Muslims, often fueled by extremist nationalist groups. In 2019, the Easter Sunday bombings by a radical Islamist group led to increased scrutiny and suspicion towards Muslims, and the government responded with measures that some argue disproportionately affect the Muslim community. Restrictions on religious practices, such as bans on certain types of religious attire or limitations on the construction of mosques, have been reported. Number 7. India. India is a land of diversity, home to multiple religions, cultures, and languages. It is the 7th largest country by land area and the most populous country in the world, surpassing China in 2023, with over 1.4 billion people. This rapid increase is a result of higher birth rates. As of 2024, the estimated Muslim population in India is over 200 million, making up about 15% of the country's total population. India has witnessed increasing tensions between its Hindu majority and Muslim minority. The rise of Hindu nationalism has contributed to an environment where Muslims sometimes face discrimination and violence. One of the most controversial issues is the Citizenship Amendment Act, CAA, of 2019. This law provides a path to Indian citizenship for non-Muslim refugees from neighboring countries. In recent years, there has been an increase in anti-Muslim rhetoric from various political leaders and media outlets. This rhetoric often portrays Muslims in a negative light, contributing to an atmosphere of suspicion and hostility. Violence against Muslims has also been a significant concern. Instances of communal riots, targeted attacks, and discriminatory practices have been reported. The violence in Delhi in 2020, which resulted in numerous deaths and injuries, highlighted the severity of these issues. Many Muslims feel that they are often left vulnerable and without adequate protection. Number 6. Central African Republic. The Central African Republic, a landlocked country in the heart of Africa, is home to a rich tapestry of cultures and communities, shared by Chad, Sudan, South Sudan, and Congo. With a population of approximately 5.5 million people, the Central African Republic is one of Africa's smaller nations by population. Christianity is the predominant religion, with around 80% of the population identifying as Christian. The majority of Christians in CAR are Roman Catholic. The majority of the population lives in rural areas. The official languages are French and Sango, with Sango being the lingua franca used for everyday communication. As of June 2024, Islam is the second largest religion in the Central African Republic. Muslims make up a smaller portion of the population, with 750,000 people, which is around 8.9% of the total population, identifying as Muslim. One of the most pressing issues for Muslims in CAR has been the outbreak of religious conflict. Since 2013, the country has been embroiled in a brutal civil war, primarily between predominantly Muslim Saleka rebels and mostly Christian anti-Balaka militias. This conflict has led to widespread violence against Muslims, with many being forced to flee their homes or face severe attacks. The violence has resulted in a significant displacement crisis. Many Muslims have been forced to flee their homes due to threats and attacks, creating a large population of internally displaced persons and refugees. Reports have emerged of targeted attacks against Muslim communities, with accusations of ethnic cleansing in some regions. Number 5. China. China is a country rich in history, culture, and diversity. Its ancient traditions, rooted in Confucianism, are celebrated through vibrant festivals like Lunar New Year and the Mid-Autumn Festival. Chinese cuisine, known for its regional variety, features iconic dishes like Peking duck, hot pot, and dim sum. Modern China, with towering skyscrapers like the Shanghai Tower, stands as a testament to its rapid development and enduring cultural heritage. Muslim population in China is estimated at around 25 million, with the majority belonging to two ethnic groups, the Hui and the Uyghurs. The Hui Muslims are scattered across the country, while the Uyghurs are predominantly concentrated in the Xinjiang region. In recent years, Xinjiang has become the epicenter of a human rights crisis. The Chinese government has implemented strict surveillance and control measures in the region, citing the need to combat terrorism and maintain stability. One of the most controversial aspects of China's policies towards Muslims is the use of so-called re-education camps, where over 1 million Uyghurs are reportedly detained. Muslims in Xinjiang live under one of the most intense surveillance regimes in the world. The Chinese government uses advanced technology, including facial recognition, DNA sampling, and extensive police presence, to monitor the Uyghur population. The Chinese government imposes strict regulations on Islamic practices in Xinjiang. Religious activities such as fasting during Ramadan, wearing traditional Islamic clothing, and attending mosque services are heavily restricted. The Chinese government has also been accused of systematically destroying Islamic cultural sites in Xinjiang. Numerous mosques and religious shrines have been demolished or repurposed for non-religious uses. Number 4. Angola. Angola, located in southwestern Africa, boasts a rich cultural tapestry influenced by its diverse ethnic groups, including the Ovimbundu, Kimbundu, and Bakongo. Angola is predominantly Christian, with the majority of its population adhering to various forms of Christianity. The Muslim community in Angola is relatively small, comprising a minority within the country. As of July 2024, the Muslim population in Angola is estimated to be around 90,000 people, which is 2.5% of the country's population. The Muslim community is made up of migrants from West Africa and families of Lebanese descent. Muslims in Angola sometimes face restrictions in practicing their religion. For example, finding halal food can be challenging, limiting dietary practices. Angola government policies and local regulations can create barriers for Muslims. Issues such as zoning laws affecting mosque construction or regulations impacting religious practices can contribute to the difficulties faced by the Muslim community. The situation for Muslims in Angola reflects broader issues related to religious freedom and social inclusion. Ongoing dialogue, legal reforms, and community support are essential for improving conditions and ensuring that all religious groups can practice their faith without fear of discrimination. Number 3. Japan. Japan is renowned for its blend of ancient traditions and cutting-edge modernity. Its culture is characterized by tea ceremonies, traditional kabuki theater, and festivals like Hanami. Japan's population is over 98% ethnically Japanese, and the country has relatively low numbers of immigrants compared to other developed nations. Japan has a relatively small Muslim population, estimated to be around 100,000 to 200,000 people, including both expatriates and Japanese converts to Islam. One of the significant challenges Muslims face in Japan is the lack of widespread religious accommodation. Finding halal food can be difficult. Many restaurants and food establishments do not offer halal options. Japan has a limited number of mosques and prayer facilities. This can make it difficult for Muslims to practice their daily prayers and participate in community events. Observing Islamic holidays and practices can be particularly challenging in Japan. For instance, during Ramadan, Muslims may find it difficult to locate appropriate places for breaking their fast. Addressing the challenges faced by Muslims in Japan requires ongoing dialogue, education, and community support. Number 2. North Korea. North Korea is one of the world's most secretive and isolated nations. With a highly centralized government and limited exposure to the outside world, North Korea maintains strict control over almost every aspect of daily life. The country's government, led by the Kim dynasty. The Muslim population in North Korea is 0.1% of the total population. In North Korea, religious freedom is extremely limited. The government tightly controls all religious activities and only permits state-approved forms of religious expression. Independent religious practices, including those of Muslims, are not allowed. For Muslims in North Korea, practicing their faith can be extremely difficult. The absence of mosques or halal food options means that daily practices, such as prayer and dietary requirements, are virtually impossible to observe. Foreigners, including Muslim diplomats or aid workers, might face challenges in North Korea as well. The government's control over all aspects of life means that even foreign Muslims may struggle to practice their religion. The international community has expressed concern over religious freedom in North Korea. Human rights organizations and advocacy groups work to highlight the restrictions faced by religious minorities, including Muslims. Number 1. Myanmar. Myanmar is a captivating country in Southeast Asia renowned for its rich cultural heritage and stunning landscapes. The nation is predominantly Buddhist, with Theravada Buddhism influencing its traditions and festivals. Celebrations such as Thingyan, the Water Festival, showcase vibrant cultural practices involving water fights and traditional music. Myanmar's population is approximately 55 million people. The country is diverse, with over 135 recognized ethnic groups. The largest ethnic group is the Burman, making up about 68% of the population. Myanmar's Muslim population is estimated to be 4.3% of the country's population, which is around 2.2 million people. This includes both ethnic Rohingya Muslims and other Muslim communities. The Rohingya Muslims, an ethnic minority in Myanmar's Rakhine state, have faced severe persecution and human rights abuses. The Myanmar government has been accused of ethnic cleansing and genocide against the Rohingya. Muslims in Myanmar, particularly the Rohingya, face severe restrictions on their religious practices. In some areas, Muslims are barred from constructing or repairing mosques, and there are limitations on the practice of Islamic rituals and celebrations. These restrictions impact their ability to freely practice their religion and maintain their cultural identity. While these countries face various challenges related to their Muslim populations, It's essential to recognize that these issues are complex and multifaceted. Understanding the broader context of each situation helps in addressing the difficulties faced by Muslims and promotes a more informed and empathetic perspective. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more informative video. Thanks for watching.